So, all right, all right. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome to the side, John. We are here after the holidays, enjoying ourselves. I'm your host, Dennis Holmes. I'm here with my co-host, Sharon Mullen. How's everything, Sharon?
Everything is great. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I did. Um, Still kind of hungover from Thanksgiving, and I don't mean from liquor.
Yeah, all that good eating. That's what it is. All that good eating.
No, I didn't. I really didn't. I say that I'm joking. Really, I didn't eat a lot because I can't. So it's been a pretty good couple of days. How you been? We hadn't talked in a couple of days. Miss you. What's
Yes,
going
yes.
on?
I've been around family. You know
Yeah.
what it is when you go over for Thanksgiving and you start
Hmm.
drinking and eating, and the next thing you know, you took a nap and it's the next day. Because it wasn't a nap,
Right.
the,
Right.
the party was going on so good, you fell asleep and woke up the next day. So, and then the next
Yeah.
day, your uncle wake you up, you back drinking again. He gonna tell you, don't you leave me hanging. I'm like, you live here. That's what I'm saying. You live here.
Oh, I get it. I get it. See, it used to be we used to have houses, full of people, but with the what you call it, pandemic and everything, we just limited it to the core family members that are here. And so it looked a little different, but it was still good times, good family time, being grateful, being thankful for things and thinking about the ones that have, passed on that couldn't be here anymore, but you still feeling their presence and all of that. So it was a good time, very good time. No arguments. I don't have any funny stories like somebody getting mad about the potato salad or anything like that. I don't have any stories
But
like that.
first of all, from what you told me, you make the best potato salad in the world. So I
Yes,
don't
I
think
do.
anybody gonna have a problem with your potato salad.
You're absolutely correct. So long as we have two things, my potato salad and my sister's macaroni and cheese, we're always good.
Yeah, that's most definitely. I haven't had potato salad in a while, but my aunt made some for Thanksgiving, and I said I was gonna get some. Potato salad was good. It was so good, even my uncle who don't like relish, yeah, he ate all the potato salad and said, and then at the end he was like, that potato salad was so good, I didn't even get mad that it had relish in it. So
It had relish in it.
yeah, he don't do relish at all.
Hmm. Okay.
It's a little weird to me because he eat pickles, so it don't make sense.
Well, some people like dill pickles, but they don't like sweet, and relish is usually sweet. I know a few people who are like that. They're fine with pickles, but don't try to give them relish or sweet pickles. Mm-mm. They won't eat it. Everybody's a little, got their own little idiosyncrasies. But did you guys share things that you were grateful for and all that?
Well, we always grateful that my dad was there and doing well, and then we
Yeah.
then we got even more grateful that his team lost, the Cowboys lost. That was real good.
Wait a minute. Your dad was actually present. He was there
Yeah, he
out
was
the
there.
hospital. Oh, amen.
He
That's
was there
cool.
out the hospital talking shit. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
Pops was really back. He was
Yeah.
all the
Oh, he
way
was back.
back.
Yeah, couldn't
He
tell
was
him nothing.
back, back.
Couldn't tell
I
him
can't,
nothing.
he was back, back. Yeah, they did lose. I was so mad. I was like, you had one job.
Yeah, I mean,
One job.
this is their time of the year. Anybody that's Cowboy fans, they really don't want to admit it for real, for real. But this is their time of the year, and I don't think that they have the coaching to fix that problem. And I've been saying that, but they do have the team. I do believe that they have the team to get the problem fixed. I just don't think that they have a coaching that's going to lead those men. That's just me, and I feel the same way about the Raiders. The Raiders, this is their time of the year when they start to fall.
Mhm.
Those are two teams around this time of the year. They always start falling. So
You know, you're right. I know you were saying that John Gruden can't win in December, but the Raiders do have a history of falling off around Thanksgiving and into December, even without John Gruden.
Yeah, even without John Gruden, they because they've been through a lot of horrible coaching. Well, I won't say that they always horrible, but they've been through a lot of coaching and horrible seasons. I don't think all their coaches was horrible. I just think it was just some horrible seasons and some things that went on. I'm gonna say one of the best things that happened this Thanksgiving though, probably was the next day because we all came back the next day. Well, I spent the night, but everybody else came back the next day. And the next day, you know, we sat there, we had a brunch and we talked. You know, we watched that new Kevin Hart movie on Netflix. Well, it's a TV series on Netflix. We watched that.
Fatherhood?
No, it's called True Story. It just came out. Him and Wesley Snipes got one together.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, and it just came out on Netflix. And we watched the Halle Berry movie when she's a UFC fighter.
And what's that one called?
The Kevin Hart one is called True Story, and Halle Berry's is called Bruised.
Bruised?
Bruised, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched both of them. That was pretty good. They both was pretty good. I'm gonna have to admit that.
Well, we got people already in the comments talking crap. I don't know what side of the bed BJ Samuels woke up on, but he need to go on somewhere with all that. Forget the Eagles. Shoot.
I ain't seen nothing about the Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I love me some Jalen Hurts. I'm gonna say it again. That's my dude. He's definitely better than Joe Flacco. How about that?
I ain't even say nothing about the Eagles. That's the greatest thing.
I know you didn't. That's why I'm saying he came and got BC in the comments for no reason. What's going on? Maybe he got some bad turkey or something on Thanksgiving. He's still mad.
I really don't eat turkey on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I do.
I look forward to it. Days after I eat it, but unless it's I do love the turkey wings. I'm still waiting for my aunt to do them teriyaki turkey wings. She said she's gonna have them on Sunday, so I'm gonna go taste them on Sunday.
Teriyaki
turkey wings. That's what she said she was gonna do. I told you I got that family that be doing weird stuff. I told you that. You know, home of the chillin' hoagie. You know what I mean?
Every time you say that makes my stomach hurt. Don't say that around me no more. Every time you say that, my stomach just go like this.
And they had plenty of them.
The chitlin hoagie.
And there's a lot of people out there that just eat them around this time of the year. And my aunt told me this back in the day. She said there's a lot of closet pork eaters. I'm like, I heard of closet, alcoholics. Ain't no closet pork eaters. She said, yeah, there's a lot of closet pork eaters out there. She said people that they always say they don't eat pork, wait till it's like Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. And they smell that pork and they see how good it look. They do. So I didn't believe her. And one time I was hosting Thanksgiving. One time. And the girl I was with, she was telling me, she was like, well, don't nobody in my family really eat pork, but a couple people. So it ain't no need of us getting this big old ham. You know what I mean? We might as well get a little ham. I said, it don't even matter. My whole thing is the next day I just want green eggs and ham. It ain't gonna really be green eggs, but the next day I just want green eggs and ham. That's all I was worried about, right? So we did. We say grace. Everybody eating on Thanksgiving. It's cool. I go in the back, we back there, we drinking, we talking, people smoking cigars, I think about a couple hours pass by. I come back up to get some more ham. The ham is gone. I mean, ain't nothing in there but the floating juice and some pineapples, okay? That's all that's in there. Now I'm looking at her like, what happened to all these Muslims you said was in your family? Like,
Don't eat pork.
that don't eat
Mm.
pork. Like, what happened to them?
Well, ham isn't pork. That's what somebody told me before. I said, so if it's not pork, then what is it? I'm like, what is it? Made up pork? I don't understand what you mean it's not pork. Pork is pork.
Right. They say that about bacon too.
Yeah, bacon is definitely pork. All that fat on it. Please don't tell me that. Mm-mm.
Like a lot of people were saying. I always say it's only one type of bacon. Turkey bacon to me is lunch meat. That's what I always say. I always say
turkey bacon is lunch meat.
It's lunch meat. Yeah, turkey bacon is lunch meat. Pork bacon is the only type of bacon. And I stopped cooking pork bacon on the stove because that is dangerous. Right. That is dangerous, cooking pork bacon on the stove. I'll put it in the oven. I ain't cooking no more pork bacon on the stove. You sit there and cook that pork bacon on the stove if you want to. It get the popping, pop. I'm cool.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I love me some bacon, but for 2 years? For 2 years, I didn't eat beef or pork. And you're talking about somebody that felt so much better. I did. I have to admit, I felt so much better. Now, I'm not going to say 100 that I 100% believe that it was 100% about not eating the pork and the beef. This happened at the same time that I lost a whole lot of weight, and I was working out 3 and 4 days a week. So all of that may have contributed to it as well. Well, in fact, I know it did because I was feeling pretty good before I started. But I don't know, I felt lighter. My digestion just seemed to be better because, beef is the hardest meat to digest. Did you know that? It's beef. It's not pork.
Yeah. They said it take a little while to digest.
On your digestive system. And according to my late great mom, who was a dietitian and studied food her whole life, pork really isn't as bad now as it used to be. So people were talking about pork, still being bad. It's not your grandmama's pork, the pork now, because the way that they are forced to raise their hogs now is different. They're regulated. That's when regulation is a good thing. Keeps your pigs cleaner. So gone are the days that pigs are walking around allowed to eat any and everything. That's not the case like it used to be. So pork is not like it used to be. And that commercial, the other white meat, that commercial has some truth to it and some myths to it. But the truth of the matter is it doesn't have as high a fat content as it used to, and is not as bad for you. But anything that you eat, you're supposed to eat in moderation anyway. You're not supposed to just sit around, eat a whole bunch of fried, fatty food and a whole bunch of pork and a whole bunch of beef and you're supposed to moderate your food anyway. But I'm glad, Dennis, I'm glad you tagging people because for some reason I can't tag anybody today.
Yeah. It's like that. I just had a problem sharing the show, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, I can't share it to anybody, so I can't put any names in there.
One of the big things, that me and you was talking about for a couple of weeks right now is grown men and video games.
Did y'all play video games on Thanksgiving?
No, I haven't played a video game in a while.
Oh,
but
okay.
I still got the itch. I'm not gonna say it like that. I still got the itch. I just ain't played in a while because I haven't got the setup that I wanted yet. Like,
what do you mean the setup? What you mean?
The responsibilities. Like I want to get this different house, and then I want to get the dungeon set up the right way, so that way I can just come downstairs, play the game, and do what I need to do.
I got you. See.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So there's a whole situation to it. There's a whole process to all of that. There's requirements.
It's about yeah, there's a lot of requirements. Yeah.
I didn't know.
For me, it is. For anybody else, they, me, if you'd have met me 10 years ago, I just needed a TV and my PlayStation. That's it. 10 years ago. Now
Uh-huh.
I want to have a room. I call it the dungeon. I want to have a dungeon, and you got to get that dungeon. You have to make that money. So I'll make that money and I get that dungeon the way I want it. I ain't worried about taking time off of playing the game. I know that the game evolves and all that, but it ain't that hard to learn how to play it all over. I'll have enough time.
Well, explain to the people what we've been talking about as far as video games is concerned.
Well, as video games concerned, there's a lot of, it's not just you. There's a lot of people out there that don't understand why grown men play video games. And, I basically tell everybody, everybody has a thing that they do. You got people who go to the casino and spend all their money, just gambling and probably don't even win as much as they should, but they have an itch to go gambling. You got people who have an itch to watch certain TV shows. I know, I don't know if it's still like this now, but I know back in the day, them soap operas was a big thing.
Yeah.
A real big thing.
Yeah, but that's grown folks shows.
Right. Like I said, and you got some people who still watch cartoons.
I do.
That's some of that thing, like I said. And got Pokemon cards. That's actually crazier than I thought.
Those are an investment.
I didn't know investment. I ain't seen nobody make no Pokemon money.
Let me tell you,
make no Pokemon money.
If I find my son's Pokemon binder right now, he ain't getting it back. I'm just want to put everybody on notice. He ain't getting it back. Mm-hmm. I spent some money on some Pokemon cards now.
Like I said, and I
probably had about 7 or 8 different Pikachus, honey.
And I've actually sat there and watched grown men at my job not go home after work, in the back sitting down, having a Pokemon contest with their cards. And it wasn't just like 1 or 2. We talking about at least 10 of them.
Yeah, let's see. I don't do that.
It was that's why I said it was at least a group of them. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? I can't really get mad at them because, everybody got the itch. They like doing what they're doing. Like
okay,
we grew up.
Here's the thing though, Dennis. I understand that everybody has their thing. Like you were talking about cartoons. I don't watch cartoons every week or every day or anything like that, but every now and then I'll flick channels to the Cartoon Network or something, or Nickelodeon to see what's on there. And if it's something I like, I might watch it for a few minutes and then it passes and I keep on going. But I don't sit and allocate hours to watch cartoons anymore. I just don't do that. And there's some people who may do that. I color in a coloring book. It's relaxing. It's therapy for me, right? What I'm thinking about are childhood things, though, that people, I just don't understand why. It's not just grown men. It's just grown people. Their obsession with the whole video game. They stand in line for the video game console that's coming out like they do Jordans.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that. See, this
used to be worse.
They don't have children. They don't have, these are single grown people. No.
Wait a minute.
Single or no children or whatever. And they're not buying it for the children. They're buying it for themselves. I see grown people having arguments about playing video games, mad at the other person. You cheat in the video game. How can you cheat in the video? The video game ain't even real. It is what it is. And I mean, just betting on video games. And I don't know. Grown, no. I don't know. I think for me, because I am from the generation that created the video games, I always associated that with my childhood. Maybe that's what it is. And as I got older and I had my son, of course, I bought him video game console and I would play with him. And then my sister and I used to play Dr. Mario all the time. We would still go and play Dr. Mario right now if somebody hadn't stolen my Nintendo 64 and took it. We would still be playing Dr. Mario right now, but I'm not going to get the latest PlayStation 100, whatever number they're on, and trying to play, the latest whatever Madden or something. Now I'm not going to do that, but I have no interest in it. But that's just me. I'm just trying to understand where do all these sports podcasts, right? We're in all these sports podcasts together, you and I.
Right.
Invariably, I'm in the room with y'all on the show, and all of a sudden, y'all will fall off into some Madden conversation or some video game, and I'm just sitting there like, I had no idea what you're talking about because I'm not playing video games. I'm grown. I'm just, and I can't shake that. But then I asked you, am I wrong? Am I being judgmental? What, is there something wrong with me, or I'm just an old lady?
It's just not your thing. Like the people tell you that they go into the casino to go gamble. Now, you might take the trip.
Gambling is a grown person's thing.
But see those
video games is not a grown person's thing.
Well, that's to you. So a lot of people, that's how they relieve their stress. A lot of people,
okay.
You got people, that's how they relieve their stress. You got other people out there, they can never be a good player. They was never able to be a good player. They wasn't ever, they wasn't good at basketball and football and all that. But on the video game side, I could be the man.
They throw it down on the video game.
I'm the man here. And then, it, I want to say about 15 years ago, it took a whole nother level to a whole new world when they started the online. When the online concept came and it started a whole new world, then, there's another, well, I don't know how it is now, but I want to say about 10 years ago when I was I was real heavy 10 years ago. There was a side of it that was, about gambling. And I used to get my prepaid cards from the, CVS, Rite Aid, and I would go ahead and I would gamble online because I wouldn't do it directly from my bank account.
Okay, so when you say on video game online, you mean you can go online to a site and actually hook up and play video games with somebody virtually, is what you're saying?
Right. Like how we talking on Zoom, we could be playing each other on the game.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll probably never see your face.
And see, the last time I bought a video game console, that technology wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
So that's how long ago. I think I had a PlayStation 2. I think that's the last one I had.
Now, what I don't do is I am not built in this generation that can watch somebody play games all day. I'm not built in that generation. I'm not built for that.
Yes, they can sit and actually watch on Facebook
or YouTube.
I mean, it's so popular now on the Facebook app. You know how they have the quick touch buttons at the bottom?
Right.
They added a gamers button.
Right.
So that you can go straight to all the game inside. I'm like, are you kidding me? They just did that with the last update.
We got to have some of those guys on the show, some of those gaming guys on the show. Because I really want to know because they really go on there and they go live and they'll have 200 people watching at one time. And you'll be sitting there, you'll be like, y'all sitting here watching, and they're not even interested. Like, I can see if they were good commentating and talking smack, and it'll be like, oh man, he's funny. No.
They're not even talking half the time.
Right. They just breathing.
Right. Because, you flipping through and you see stuff, and I just stopped and I was like, oh, that's a video game. And then by the time I figured out I had watched a few minutes of it, I'm like, oh, okay, next, keep on scrolling. But see, what I need to do, maybe I need to go on eBay and find me a Nintendo 64 and a Dr. Mario game cartridge.
That Nintendo 64 is a rare thing. I'm gonna have to say it's a very underrated.
And then maybe my sister and I can go on and get together and play Dr. Mario and have our camera set up so they can watch us playing Dr. Mario on screen. And maybe somebody will pay us to do that, huh?
Man,
they pay people to eat.
Man, they like that vintage. They like that vintage.
Yeah, that's what I do. I could do vintage games only.
That's a big market. I'll let you know that.
Yeah, man. Hey, let me write that down. I'm gonna call it vintage games only. That's what I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna trademark that, y'all. So don't steal my idea.
Yeah, but the video game community is not just single men. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As a matter of fact,
no, 40% of gamers are women. My sister put in the chat.
Yeah.
She used to work for a game.
I've actually met a couple women on gaming that actually beat me in Madden. I can honestly admit it. They actually beat me in Madden.
Listen. I used to get down with my son playing. Okay, what was the game that when it first came out, everybody was all upset because he was running around slapping women and stuff?
Oh, that's GTA, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. We were playing Grand Theft Auto. And I beat him a few times once I got good at it.
It's a whole new world now. It's a whole new world now. See, that's why they upped the price. If you remember, video games used to be about $50, $40. Now they went to $75 because of the online aspect. Now if you buy a video game and you ain't playing online, you bullshit. That's just basically what it is. You buy a video game from 2010 to now, and you're not playing online, you bullshit.
Is that right?
That's basically what it is. You bullshit.
Okay. Well, I play games on my phone.
Which is the same thing, but y'all don't.
Well, that's what my sister just said. It's like playing games on your phone. Okay, but I play with myself, or I might find one opponent to try to beat. But I guess my thing is I don't know. I think it's the way some people obsess about it. I don't know. I have to get to the bottom of what I used to be.
I used to be one of them people who played Words with Friends.
Yeah, I used to.
And then I found out that they had a cheating app. They had a cheating app to help you put words in place, and I was like, but that ain't even using your brain. Like what?
That's what everybody does. Everybody goes to the Scrabble cheat. You just type in, go to Google and put Scrabble cheat. They all come up.
After that, I stopped playing because before I actually thought I had something going for me. I'm like, I'm about to get them.
Well, look,
they come out with an 8-word.
I purposely would not go to the Scrabble cheat because once I found out about it, I was mad. I was kind of mad, but before that, I was trying to do it, with my brain.
Right.
So I was trying to win, and here I'm finding out the reason why I can't beat certain people is because they're using the Scrabble cheat. I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing there.
And
so I stopped that and I started playing Ruzzle. See, can't nobody beat me on Ruzzle. Ain't nobody beat me on Ruzzle, right? Man, I'm telling you, I'm the beast with it. I'm a beast with it. I'm gonna have to bring mine with me so I can play you in person. But
see how you just said all that? That's that competitiveness that starts the conversation. Oh, you ain't that good. I mean, that's all somebody got to say. You ain't that good. You ain't beating everybody. And that's it.
Well, I know I used to do well at that Street Ball 1 and Street Ball 2.
Yeah, I ain't never played that.
Oh my gosh, that was the best basketball video game ever. But nobody can beat me at Ruzzle. I'm very serious. The real Ruzzle board game, not the phone Ruzzle, but the board game Ruzzle. I am undefeated. Nobody's ever beaten me.
Yeah,
in my life.
So you beat
no
me.
One. No one's ever beaten me. So I'm waiting for somebody to beat me. I had, in fact, one of our family's friends.
Sheila said she beat you.
No, she beat me. Read what it says. She beat me. Right. I'm like, that's what I just said, Sheila. Nobody can beat me on the board game. That's what I said.
Well, and I never heard of it. That's crazy.
Well, she's the only one that beats me on the phone one. She does. But the board game, the live, no, ain't nobody beat me. In fact, we had a family friend decided she's gonna come to my father's 50th birthday party. I remember this. She's gonna come to the 50th birthday party. And I don't believe it. I know I can beat her. I can beat, because she's supposedly so good. Let me tell you something. I beat her so bad. She got sick and had to go home. She couldn't even finish out the part. Sent her home. Don't mess with me. So is that competition you talking about?
So it's that competitive spirit.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know. It's just something about the video games. I don't know. It's just the way, I don't know. What else I don't like about the current video games is that they're all so realistic looking. Now, see, back in the day when we played video games, Dr. Mario, Frogger, what's the one with the big ape? What's it called? With the gorilla on it? Oh God!
It's definitely got to save the princess, and you got the bull be throwing the barrels at him.
But the characters are not real looking. We know it's a fake video game. See, you don't get lost in it like crazy lost in it because it doesn't look realistic. And you're playing games like Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man, Asteroids, Donkey Kong, Space Invaders.
Shout out to Elise.
Thanks, Elise. I'm like, now you get stuff. You got the man with the gun. I'm a soldier. It's called Sniper, and you going around shooting people. I see ads about it on my phone, and you see him with the target on the woman's head, and she's standing there, and they show him shooting her in the head. I don't want to see that.
Oh, that's that Call of Duty.
It's
Call of Duty. But see, you a Nintendo 64 girl, so we could talk about this. Now, on Nintendo 64 used to be a game called 007.
Yes.
Now, 007 used to be very popular when I was younger because we would bet money on 007. And mind you, there's only 4 controllers. So only 4 controllers on Nintendo 64. And you had to wait, and we would sit there and bet money. And once you get that golden gun, you could shoot them in the toe. They did. But it was really a real competition on that game that we would bet money on 007. And now what's evolved now is Call of Duty. Everybody plays Call of Duty now to that same level. I don't know if they betting though, but now they got teams.
I'm sure they are.
Now they got teams and they throwing grenades.
I mean, it's so violent. They show the blood spattering and it looks real. I mean, it just, see, to me, that's just a little bit too much. It's supposed to be pretend, fake. Keep it fake as long as but no, the realer the better that's the goal, to make it real. Yeah, but that's getting into these people's minds, and people don't believe this. And I'm telling you, it is. I've told you this before when we've talked about things before and about the influence of media, that video games included, but I don't know, Dennis. I'll think about it some more.
To me now, I'm not as heavy as a gamer as the rest of them. I only play a couple games. Mine is usually Madden, which is a football game. You got 2K, which is a basketball game, and then I'll play the wrestling game. But that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's basically all you getting from me. I ain't going too deep in nothing else. And everybody used to always be like, "What you buy a PlayStation for?" Well, back when I had a PlayStation, I used to, download a bunch of music and put it on there, and I have a bunch of movies on there. So it was like a big storage thing for me. Now they said you can't do that on a new one. So I don't. Like I said, I'll wait. I got time to get my dungeon together. Then I'll worry about getting a game console with the TVs I got.
And with the game consoles now, do you still play like movies on it too? Through it too?
I don't know about the new one. I know the one I got in the closet right now. I can still play movies on it.
Right. You used to be able to put a DVD in it and play it, and then it became you could download movies and watch movies through it or something like that.
Right.
I don't know. It's been a bit forever for me.
Right.
But anyway, so I don't mean to sound like get off my lawn with the video games, but it just, I don't know. It's just funny how these grown people
it just ain't your
video
lane,
games. I tell you.
Was never in my lane. Pokemon was never in my lane. I was never a Pokemon guy. Never in my lane.
Well, I fell in love with it only because of my son. Because at first I didn't even understand what it was. And he came home one day talking about Pokemon. I was like, what are you talking about? And then he put the TV show on, the cartoon. And I was like, oh, and I sat down and started watching it because, I wanted to see what he's looking at. And that little Pikachu came on the screen and it was a wrap. I love me some Pikachu. He just represented everything that was good.
Yeah,
my favorite.
Never one of my things, man.
And I was like, I can get behind that. I can get behind Pikachu and them.
I always respect that. And there's a lot of games that I played. Like South Park had a game on Nintendo 64 where it was kind of like Mario Kart. They had their version of Mario Kart. I played that. That was pretty good. Mario Kart is actually real good. Matter of fact, when I go to Dave & Buster's, I still play Mario Kart.
For real?
That's one of the games that we actually play Mario Kart and be serious on that. At Dave & Buster's.
When I go to Dave & Buster's, I tend to play Pac-Man. I always got to play Pac-Man because they always have a Pac-Man game in there. If I find one with a Space Invaders in it, I will play that in Asteroids. But my favorite one is the skeet ball one and the basketball one.
Right.
Because I'm a pretty good shot. See, I used to have a good mid-range shot when I was playing basketball. I'm a pretty good shooter. So I've beaten a few people playing the basketball game in there. But that skeet one, I'm not as good of a bowler as I am a basketball player. So that skeet one, boy, sometimes I can get hot sometimes, but sometimes I'm terrible.
Don't feel bad. I'm gonna say this here. I'm the worst bowler in my family. On my dad's side, my sister's probably the best because my dad lost the edge. So my sister's probably the best, but I won't tell them this because if I beat them the first game, they can't tell me nothing. So that's all it is. They better not let me win the first because it takes them a while to get warmed up. Once they get warmed up, that's it. They tell you we ain't hitting nothing but strikes are better. You better catch up then. Like, yeah, whatever. That's whatever.
The most strikes that I've ever bowled in one game is 6. I bowled 6 strikes in a game. That's the most.
Yeah, I had 7 of them. 7 strikes in a row.
Yeah, mine were in a row. Right. It was spread across those 10 frames somehow.
Once you hit 3, you get that turkey. And we always say, got that lunch meat, and then you hit another one. That's 4. Well, I got me a 4-wheeler. We just keep going.
That's something else we have in common. You bowl with your family. My family used to bowl. My whole family. But then sometimes when I would talk to my friends about bowling, they would look at me like, y'all bowl? Bowling? I'm like, yeah, we bowl. My daddy was and everything.
I might get back to skating. I'm a little nervous because I know I'm gonna fall a lot.
Man, we used to go skating. Boy, we used to go. Oh my goodness. I really would love to go back roller skating, but I want to wait till I get some more of this weight off. Because man, when you fall and you heavier, man, it'll scare me.
I'm scared to fall.
It's gonna scare me to death. But see, you younger. It's different when you old and bigger and heavier and falling. Shoot. I'm not even gonna try to do it. You can heal, Dennis. You in the healing age. I'm too old for that.
I can heal. I can take up ibuprofen. I'm back in a couple of days. See, when I was even younger, I could take that bump, get up, and I don't even feel it at the hour. When you get old, you're like, why did I fall like that? Man.
What position did you play in football?
I played the whole offensive line. I started off as the center. Center didn't work out for me because I couldn't shotgun snap. Like my shotgun snap be over here. Like it'd They'd be over here. They'd be like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm like, listen, I got it back there. That's the first one. Then it'd be over here. Then it was over here, you know. So I stopped being the center. I went to guard. They moved me to guard. When I became a senior, they moved me to tackle because they just kept saying it's time for you to go to tackle. And everybody that played tackle, when they was already prepping me for a tackle. So that was.
Oh, wait a minute. From the center, where is the tackle positioned?
The last man on each end.
On each end.
Yeah.
So the tackle is like the end.
Right. The guards is the two. They the two end, and then the center's in the center.
The center, right? Okay, all right. I just want to make sure I got it right in my head.
I played all those positions, and I made sure that I knew every position that was on the offensive line. And a lot of times, I would, to make it easier for me, because they would call and make up plays as they felt. So to make it easier for me, I would just say certain things, and I'd be like, all right. Just in case we forget what the play was called, we know if it's a run play, we'll say Miss Peaches. And we know if it's a pass play, we'll say lockdown. Because I had somebody on my semi-pro team that just got out of jail. So that was his thing. So we went ahead, we said lockdown. So it just made it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need a cheat sheet time to time. So. And when I played defense, I only played defensive tackle. I never played defensive end. It was either nose tackle, which I'm right over top of the center, or it was defensive tackle where I was over top of one of the guards or in the gap. But I was never defensive end. Always wanted to play defensive end, though.
Why? What about that position attract you?
Reggie White.
I mean,
I wanted to be
Reggie White. The greatest to ever do it.
Yeah, I wanted to be Reggie White. I wore number 92. I wanted to be Reggie White. That was what it was. I wanted to be. So Reggie White.
Y'all didn't play video games on Thanksgiving. Did y'all play cards? Did y'all do anything, or did y'all just sit around drinking and talking shiggity?
We played a little bit of cards. We talk shiggity. Yeah, we watched the game and talked a lot of shiggity. Soon as the Cowboys lost, we couldn't wait.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what y'all think? What you think about them games on Thursday?
I like the Detroit game.
People were slamming. They want to do a petition to stop Detroit from being shown on Thanksgiving anymore. I'm like, bump that. I want to see the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions every Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving that they don't play. That's the way I feel about it.
They ain't got to play the Chicago all the time, but they got to play Detroit just as
well. I want Detroit to play somebody, and usually I want it to be the Bears. That's what I want it to be. If I see Detroit play anybody, it's Chicago. That's what I want to see them do.
And I like, the crazy thing is, I like the first game. The first game was way better than the last game. That's the crazy thing about it. The first game that came on at 12 o'clock was better than the Bills and New Orleans game. Bills
I didn't even watch that. Yeah, I didn't even watch that. I didn't even watch that game. I picked the Bills to win. I picked the Cowboys to win. I picked the Bears to win. So I got 2 out of 3.
I picked the Lions to win. I picked the Raiders.
And I told you. I said, what are you talking about, the Lions?
Listen, I felt the spirit. Felt like I was in Detroit. I just kept saying, "What up, though?"
But but you weren't alone.
No.
Watching a Blair show, several of y'all said Detroit, and I was like, "What the hell is?" Y'all need to stay off that malt liquor.
Because
y'all need to stay off that malt liquor. I'm just saying.
No, it wasn't that. They picked Detroit because they believe Matt Nagy is getting fired the next day. Now, the Bears have never fired a coach
mid-season.
But they believe that Matt Nagy's going to be the one. They got the fire Nagy chants at his son's football game. They got him at the Bulls game, Chicago Bulls basketball game. They're saying fire Matt Nagy, and they're saying it at the Chicago Bears game. It's just it is crazy. So I don't care if they were gonna. I don't care if they were gonna fire him on Friday.
I knew on Thursday, Detroit wasn't going to beat them. That's what I knew. That's what I knew.
They had a chance though. It was a good game. That was a good game.
Um,
That was a way more entertaining game than that last game. And a lot of people, like you were saying, the millennials always petitioning to get rid of some shit.
right.
You were saying that. And
I told you. I said, pay attention to what I'm saying. I don't hate them, but I'm telling you, I study them. I study millennials for a reason. It's because of what I do on, my side job. I study what they do and their trends and their patterns and their habits. And they always want to change up something all the time. It's like, I see like you. I see you, Dennis, you the host of the side, Jawn. We're co-hosting. We've been doing this now how many weeks, how many months? I done lost track.
I think this show number 20. I think it's number 20 right.
But hey, a millennial will say, I'm changing it up.
Yeah.
Why? Well, I just want to. Just to do it. They don't have a reason. It's just because what you presented them is old and they want something fresh and new every single day. That's not life. It's not even realistic.
Right. And I believe that if you're gonna change anything, that which I think that they're trying to change it. I'm not gonna say that they're not, but it damn sure should be Columbus Day.
Yeah, that mess that should have been up out of here.
Changed.
That should have been up out of here.
Well, meanwhile, we worried about changing the Washington football team name and the Cleveland baseball team name.
Yeah. I
think they're the Cleveland Guardians now. I think that's their name.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I try to be understanding. I don't know any full-blown Native Americans. I do know some people who are mixed African American and Native American. I know a young lady in Raleigh. I've had conversations with her, and she's like a high percentage Native American. It's not like trace 1%. So it's like she's like, according to her DNA, she's like 28 to 35% or 40% Native American of some, I forgot which tribe, but anyway, I was talking to her about this particular issue, about these names, these sports names. And she said the only one that bothered her is the Washington football team name. Indians, Braves, Seminoles, Chiefs. None of those, the Chiefs, none of those offend her. Neither do their mascots. She said, now the Cleveland Indians one, they had two different mascot logos. One was the regular Cleveland one with the word Cleveland on it. The other one was that face chief, whatever they used to call him. And the way that they made him look was kind of racist. So when they got rid of that a few years ago, she was happy with that. But she said, but she didn't care about them keeping the name Cleveland Indians because Indians are brave people. And she doesn't have a problem with people saying that they're brave people. They were brave. They always just think about who they are. They're over here living their lives, and these other people come and just start raping and killing and pillaging them, and they fought to the death. Even the women, right. And they were fighting to the death. You know what I'm saying? So they are brave, and there's nothing wrong with that. She was saying. So I don't know. I just let them decide on that. As long as you're not naming your team the Baltimore N-words, I'm fine. You do whatever you want to do. You want to change that? That's fine.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something else out there. That's quite a subject now. We're talking about tattoos, aka tatted up. Now we got different issues on tattoos. I'm gonna let you explain yours to the people about your tattoo issue.
Well, it's not that I have it. Is that what you describe it as the issue?
It's an issue.
You got me on here just looking like a real old woman right now. I tell you, like I'm just ornery. Like I'm old and crotchety, I guess. But I never wanted a tattoo, except for there was a short period in my life that I said I was going to fulfill a particular goal. And I think this was when I was about 40, 42-ish, somewhere at that age. And I said, if I reach this goal right here, I may get a tattoo, but it's going to be hidden. It's not going to be visible anywhere. And nobody can see it but me. But then I started thinking, so if nobody can see it but me, what's the purpose of me getting this tattoo? It's like, I don't get it. And I said, well, but then I don't want visible tattoos. My son's got tattoos, my nieces got tattoos. I know a lot of people with tattoos, but I think what my thing is, I do not understand the big deal about tattoos. Why is it like a rite of passage for people to get a tattoo? Because if you look at what you're doing, you're inking up your body. You're just inking up your body. You're putting something that's going to be on there permanently until you die. And it's like branding. And I can't get that comparison out of my mind. And that could just be my sensitivity. But I remember, well, I don't remember, but I'm told of the time when branding was put on us because we were property to somebody. And I just, ever since then, I'm just like, I'm not heating or branding or inking anything to my skin that's going to permanently identify me. I'm just not going to do that. But that's just me. And I try not to put my opinion over on other people. I'm just a person who tries to understand other people. This is why I ask these questions. Remember I was telling you about that? It's not that I'm looking down on or judging people who are different than I am. I'm just trying to understand their thought processes and feelings about it. So I've asked people about tattoos, and most of the time the response I get is, I don't know, I just wanted a tattoo. So I'm not any wiser because nobody's giving me reasons. Nobody's telling me why.
Okay. I don't have any tattoos. I used to want a lot of them. I'm glad I didn't get, some of them. Some tattoos. Okay. Let me break this down on this tattoo thing. I came up in an era where there were people that was, out there. There were tattoo artists that was out there just freelancing doing tattoos, right? And
they weren't legal tattoo artists.
I didn't know it was a legal secret.
What I mean is licensed. They had a license to do it,
I ain't
or whatever.
A license for it. Just let you know that. I didn't know none of that. I was naive to all of that. Let me just say that. And they was going around doing people tattoos. It's like, yeah, I had a tattoo artist boy in my house the other day. Yeah, he just put the jaw on my neck. And I go look at their tattoo. I'm like, well, what it say? like if I got to do all that to see what it say on your neck, that ain't the tattoo I want. I don't want that tattoo. And I used to call those dirty tattoos. That's what I call
them. So it was poor quality, you're saying?
Very, very poor. Very poor quality. Very poor. Then people used to have tattoo parties, right? They have a tattoo party. It's 40 people in line, one tattoo artist. 40 people in line, one tattoo artist. And there's always that one girl that want to get something extra right near her thing. I ain't gonna go X-rated, but it's right near her thing. And she want to get something extra right there. Like, I don't even want to see you get this tattoo. Like this, and I love women, but I don't even want to see you get this tattoo. Like, why would you get that tattoo or the tattoo? You're supposed to get something on your arm, something quick so he can keep going, make his money. He can't get no. And then, you see, after she get done with that ignorant mess that she had on her leg, then you ask her, well, what it say? Like, if I got to keep asking you what it say, that's not a good tattoo. Now you got some people out there who got really good tattoos, look real good on them, and they got like certain things that they wrote, like maybe they got a Bible verse. Some people have something that signifies their whole family. Like Rasheed Wallace, he got like the Pharaoh thing on his arm that signifies his whole family. You got some people, they got tattoos of their grandmama on their face, but then
on your face.
Right. It was a tattoo he had that was of his grandmama on his face. It's like right here. And he changed it to LA. And we talking about the rapper Game.
Yeah, I know.
He changed to LA. And I said I don't care who my boss is. I ain't changing my dead grandma tattoo for no one. If it's my grandma tattoo, then it's gonna stay there. That's my grandma.
Yeah, if I'm gonna put that on my face, you're right. I guess it will stay there. I'm not gonna let you dictate that I gotta take my grandma off. No.
Right, and put LA on it.
Right.
Like I said, there's a lot of tattoos. I still may get one. I'm glad I didn't get one when I was in New Orleans because I was close to getting one in New Orleans. I'm glad I didn't get it, but I still may get one.
See, I just don't have any desire to get one. And let me tell you something else about tattoos. Visible tattoos. I'm not a fan of visible tattoos. If you're gonna get tattoos, get it in places where if you have on regular old clothes, you can't see the tattoos. Right. That's what I say. Because if you're getting a tattoo, it's really for you and your significant others or whoever. It's not really for us. We don't want to see what your body art is. We don't really care, do we? Do we?
Well, who surprised me with all these tattoos? D.L. Hughley. He surprised me with those tattoos. And I don't know about nobody else, but it just surprised me because I've been a fan of D.L. Hughley since the early 90s. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, what made him get all these tattoos so late?
Yeah. I guess I am with you on that because I followed him his entire career.
Right. Even when he had his TV show, I remember him having all those tattoos.
No, he didn't. He didn't have tattoos. This is a recent thing for him. He talked about it in the interview, and I can't remember what he said because, me and tattoos, I just don't keep in here. The reason for them, and I just don't. But yeah, I was shocked by that. But I'm gonna give you a good comparison on a before and after on an artist. Okay. I was talking to you about these tattoos, and I said one of the things I don't like about tattoos is when people get a whole lot of them and they're visible. Like it's just a whole bunch of tattoos. You're looking at them and you lose track of what is clothing and what is tattooed on the person. You know what I'm saying? They've got so many tattoos. You're like, you got to take a second or third look and say, okay, that's tattoo. That's his arm. Okay, let me see what this. And trying to figure out what it says or whatever on his neck and arm. I don't know. It almost looked like it's dirty or something to me. It messes with my eyes when I'm looking at a person. Sometimes it's hard for me to see how handsome or beautiful the person is because I'm distracted by the tattoos. That's me. That's just who I am. I'm sorry. And case in point is Chris Brown. I remember Chris Brown's very first song, his first album. And, I'm an older person, but I fell in love with dude. I just thought his voice was just beautiful and he could dance and all of that. Love Chris Brown. The more problems he started having in his life, more tattoos he got. And it just changed him. It makes him look darker, not darker like skin color dark. I mean, dark as in a dark cast over his spirit. To me, that's what I mean. I don't have no problem with no dark skin. My mama was dark, so I don't have no problem with that.
No. You mean you got that black cloud over?
Right. It just like and Every time he would have a prop, have trouble. The next time he would come back on the scene, he's got 3-4 more tattoos somewhere. And then they're all up on his neck now and it has changed who he appears to be to the public now. So it's more in line with that bad boy, what do you call it, reputation. And he's not a bad dude at all. Mm. But people can, Justin Bieber, same thing. Mm. Same thing. And it's just like, I don't understand the attraction of it. I just don't. I see these women, I watch a lot of wedding shows. At least I used to until I got hooked on Hallmark movies. But anyway, that's another story. I used to watch Say Yes to the Dress all the time. And invariably, they'll have somebody coming in there with all these tattoos on her body. And she's trying on wedding dresses. And I'm looking at her trying on wedding dress with all these wings coming up and roses, big gaudy stuff all up here and all up her neck. And she puts this wedding dress on. And their mamas are sitting there. I can't even see the dress with all those tattoos. And I'm like, I feel her. I feel what she's talking about. It's not a put down. It's just how we visibly process the look. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how I process. I'm like, no, there's no way in the world you'll ever see me get one because I don't want that look on me. But anybody else, they have a right to get it, but I just don't see the attraction.
Now, here's the one that I always thought was crazy. To the people that went and got their the person that they were dating name tattooed on them, I always thought that was crazy. Like, this is something that's going to be with you forever. And this is the name that you want to get tattooed on you.
Yep. What happens if you break up?
Right. Well, usually when they break up, they get it covered. There's usually a big rose, or in the 90s, everybody was getting that Black Panther on them. Or, I seen some people get the Chinese tattoo with somebody's name on them, so they can just tell you that it's anything.
Yeah. They don't know Chinese.
Don't know.
So how it's even correct?
And the words of Steve Harvey, that can say shit here. Mm-hmm. That's the word of Steve Harvey.
Sure could. And they wouldn't know. But they running around getting stuff put on their bodies. I don't get it.
I didn't get it either, man. Like I said, the ones that was getting good stuff put on them, and then you also have those ones that is a tradition in their family. I think most of them are Samoan. Don't quote me on that, but they go and they get their whole sleeve done to their chest. I think it's the firstborn son. I think that's what it is. I don't want to be misquoted, but the firstborn son, they get the whole sleeve done to the chest, and I think they got to get their whole leg done too. And I supposedly somebody said it take about 8 hours. And every couple of hours, they got to keep going into the ocean so it can heal up and then come back and get the rest done. They look nice, though. Look nice. Nice looking tradition. Look nice on them.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
I'm just not. I have no... And, sometimes somebody will show me a tattoo and I would say, you know what, that's a nice tattoo because of the artwork.
Right. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
I like good artwork. And you can look at their tattoo and you be like, man, that really look nice.
That really looks good.
But them dirty tattoos I got, what is that? I call it a dirty. If I got to do that, that's a dirty tattoo. What's that?
I have to say, my son, my beloved son, got my name on his arm. It was one of his first, I think it was his first tattoo. He said, I got you on it. I got you, Mom. And he felt that because he got me, that I would be okay with it since it's me, since it's my name. So I did say, I told him, I said, well, you know what, I do thank you for the tribute. because I didn't want to just be all negative, you know.
Right.
So I did. I thanked him for the tribute. And I feel good about that, but yeah.
I know another one of my homies, he did that. He got his mom on him too. That was his first tattoo. He was 14. He got his mom on him. Then he was talking to me. Oh, you should get a tattoo. I don't know about that. I don't even like needles. His was nice though. His was a nice tattoo. It wasn't one of the ones I had to. It was a nice tattoo, and I was 13 at the time, so his was nice. You know, that's when people used to go to tattoo parlors. Once I got to about 17, it was the tattoo. The guys that did the tattoos was the same guy they were selling drugs to.
Wow.
And they sitting there like, yo, you do good tattoos, though. He did this, Joe. He did this one right here. What? Well, what it say? Oh, this one got my girl name on it. Say, Veronica. That shit look like it say studio. Like, trying to figure out what did you look at it? He said, yeah, he gonna come back tomorrow and put the color on it. Same guy. Hold on, Sharon. Same guy.
Oh.
Same tattoo. No color. To this day. Okay.
Wow.
same tattoo.
No color. You were 13? You were 13 at the time?
I was 17 at that time. 17.
And he still doesn't have.
Still ain't got no color.
18 years later, still no color. He still ain't got no color.
Still ain't got no color.
Well, look, what about the people who get tattoos and it's like code, meaning something else? Other people look at it, we don't know what it means. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know why they got the one with code on.
No, like they'll get an acronym like A period, T period, S period, B period.
Okay.
Period. And that's all it says. And you be like, okay, well, what does that mean? It means blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I had some people that used to get when I was growing up, people used to get FF, first family, or they'll get MOB, money over, you know what the B is.
Yeah, biatches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
they get a lot of slogans put on.
But I mean, some people get slogans that's not popular. It doesn't mean anything to anybody but them. That's what I'm saying. See, MOB, everybody knew what that meant.
Right.
But if I get this little phrase and you don't know what, nobody knows what it means but me, it's like, okay, oh, you just want everybody to stop you and ask you what it means, right?
That's like if I got.
Is that what it is? You just want attention.
If I got AAH put on me, and everybody, what's AAH? Alcohol always helps. That's what it stands for. AAH. Alcohol always helps. That, you know, people sit there and they'll be, you know, they'll say the same thing. They'll be, oh, what does that mean? You know, I remember when I was younger, I used to always be talking about FBI. And he was like, you should get that tattoo on you. I'm like, no, I'm not getting that FBI tattoo on.
No. I wouldn't. That's like getting CIA tapped. Why would I want CIA, FBI? I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
You don't care what. I don't care if it means fat bitches are ignorant. I don't care. I'm not putting FBI on me. You know what I mean? Not gonna do that. But yeah, y'all watching the side Jawn with Dennis Holmes and Sharon Mullen. 2 days after Thanksgiving.
2 days after
we thank y'all for watching and sticking around with us.
Right. Eating your turkey salad.
Yeah.
Don't forget that. Make sure you eat your turkey salad.
Because my sister is going to make some turkey salad out of all that turkey. I got to get her these scallions, though, so she can make that turkey salad.
Right. It's all about that turkey salad. Today's turkey salad. Now, I've talked about me hosting my Thanksgiving. Do you have one when you were hosting your Thanksgiving?
I do.
Okay. I'm ready for this.
It was very, very special Thanksgiving. My son was young. He was about 13, 12 or 13. And my parents spent Christmas out of town. So their house was empty. So they left their house and went out of town. No, my son wasn't that old. He was little. Yeah, he was little. Like 4 or 5 years old. And my parents decided to go visit extended family out of town. And I had to work right up to Christmas, right up to Thanksgiving. So I couldn't go. So I decided that I was going to host Thanksgiving at my mother's house, mom and dad's house, and invite, let me call them my ex, I'll just say my ex's family over. So that's my son's father and his family over at Thanksgiving. And man, what you talking about did I throw down? I cooked I had everything. The only thing that I had anybody bring was like drinks. And somebody insisted on bringing one of his pound cakes. And I told him he didn't have to bring the pound cake because I was already making desserts. And he didn't need it, but he just insisted on bringing his pound cake. So fine. And but I had everything, Dennis. I had turkey and ham. And I had a pot roast as well. Then I had mashed potatoes, green beans. I had greens. I had baked tomatoes. I had my signature potato salad. I had macaroni and cheese. I had rice. I had gravy, of course. And then I had corn, coleslaw. I had tossed salad too, like chef salad, tossed salad. And I had, I said green beans and greens, but I had something else. There's something I'm missing. I made a sweet potato pie. Oh, sweet potato casserole. I had sweet potato casserole. I had a sweet potato pie. I made a yellow cake with chocolate icing, and I made an apple pie. And had all that food. I mean, it was delicious. And I served it in the formal dining room with the fine china and all that. And see, his family wasn't used to that. They weren't used to that type of setting. And so it was a really great Thanksgiving, even though I wasn't there with my family. And it was like one of the first Thanksgivings I was not with my family. And that was difficult for me. But yeah, it was hard. But it was a nice Thanksgiving. They came and they ate that food, boy. If I can find those pictures, I don't know what happened to the pictures because I took pictures of the spread. Oh, I made some homemade rolls too. I forgot about that. But I had sweet potato biscuits. And they had never heard of sweet potato biscuits.
I ain't never heard of it either.
That's something my father used to have a fit for, sweet potato biscuits. That was his favorite thing. So yeah, it was fun. And we came, we watched football, we ate, laughed, drunk, acted a fool up in that house. It was like 15 of us. There was a lot of people sitting around that table. And we made it fit because I believe that table held 10. There's 4 people on either side. In the end, that's 10. And then we just pulled up chair. We just made room. We all sat around that table.
That was cool. Now, that was a good time. That was a good time. Now, to me, I always think that the bad time is when you can't get rid of people. You ever have those people that come over Thanksgiving and you just can't get rid of them? Now, I've been on both sides of this. I've been the one that they had to get rid of, and I've been the family member that, listen, when they going home? Like,
right.
I don't feel like playing no more pinochle. I ain't playing no more spades. We had the turkey salad. Turkey salad is gone.
It's
When they
gone.
going? Don't they gotta go to work? When they going home?
You know, I don't remember a time when somebody wouldn't go home from Thanksgiving, but I got plenty of examples of people who would not go home from the party at our house. So let me explain. Our house was one of the largest houses on the street. Okay. And so therefore we had a lot of room in the house itself. And then we had a basement. And every time a group of people at our church wanted to party, they would convince my father to have a party. That's what it was. They didn't want to host a party because they know when they come to the Mullins house, they're going to have good food and good drink. Because my mother is a master at food. All right. So I remember there was a couple. I'm not going to say their names. I don't know who's watching. So right. I'm not going to say their names, but they live near us. I'll just say that. Thank God for them that they live near us because they would get so drunk. They would always be one of the last two people to leave our house. It's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and we trying to go to bed. They still there and they're trying to get out. They trying to get up the stairs. Remember, I told you they're partying in the basement. So drunk. They have to one of them had to put the hands on the other one while the other one's trying to walk up the step. Go up. So I can just see them right now. If Sheila's watching, I'm sure she's cracking up because you can see them. I can see them right now. One putting their hands up on the rail and the other one got their hands on their shoulder. And they laughing, they steady laughing and talking, man, that was so much fun, man. I'm feeling pretty good. I sure hate to leave. I'm so glad they had this part. I mean, they just talking, drunk as hell, trying to leave the house. Good thing for them, they could walk home. Because driving, I don't know, but they did try to drive a few times. But one morning, from what I understand, they were found in their driveway with the car still running, sleep. From the party, from our house. They were still there next morning. So yeah, there were times when we would have people who would not want to go home from a party, but Thanksgiving, nah. Yeah, she was talking about it. She said it was comedy watching them leave. I remember they fell asleep in their driveway with the garage door open. Yep. And a neighbor found them. Yep. They were drunk. They had come from our house, from the party. And they drove home. They got in the driveway, put the door up, out.
No, that's
I mean, it literally live like very close. I'll just say very close.
Yeah, you gotta.
So
them the type of people you gotta just know. Yeah, we're gonna buy y'all a camping set for Christmas.
Man,
y'all gonna be sleeping here a lot. So
yeah, man. But they party. Our house was the party house though, and that my father did. When my father would do things, he always did it big. It wasn't. He didn't do things halfway in anything that he did, or my mom. He didn't do things halfway. Mom was always, you know how they say opposites attract, right? My mom and dad were the opposites, but they also complemented each other. Where she's not the best at, he's best at. Where he's not the best at, she's best at. So they complemented each other. And she would bring the refinement and the class to the event. He brought the fun and the thoroughness to the event. He would think of every little detail, every little thing, and he had every liquor known to man at these parties. I mean, there's not a liquor I could think of he didn't have.
Okay.
He would keep the bar full on tilt all day, every day. Every day. So when it's time for a party, He ain't got to go run out and get liquor all the time. He kept liquor. And see, that's why Sheila and I we've never been like alcoholic or drunk or not. We grew up around it, and it was no big deal. It was no big deal to us to see liquor. I used to pour drinks. I used to be standing behind the bar, mixing, pouring their drinks and stuff sometime. So, and I'm a kid. I wasn't in high school yet. I'm pouring drinks. I wasn't drinking the stuff. I'm just pouring it.
And it's crazy because they want you to pour them their drink. That's the crazy thing about it. Oh, no, make me a drink.
Yeah, give me some of that. Give me some of that gin right there.
Right. And then put the ginger ale in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that.
No, wait, ho. That's enough. Enough. Then put 2 ice cubes in.
Right. Put 2 ice cubes in. My man. Here you go.
Right there. Hey, that's it. Thanks, girl. You gonna be a good little bartender.
Right. Hype you up and all that.
Now, children's services trying to come get your child if you try to do that now. See, these people, this overreaching is crazy. Right. But we had it together. We had it on straight though. We wasn't trying to abuse anything. And they used to have us down there singing and dancing with them. They wanted to see people dance. We would dance with some of the old men. I had dancing partners, old men. But it was nothing distasteful or, like a dirty old manish. It was nothing like that. Now, if people would go off deep end, they knew some of the stuff we used to do. Yeah, but it was no big deal back then. I'm telling you, Dennis, growing up in the 70s, that was a time to be alive. I'm just telling you. I can't explain it to people. 70s was a great decade. It was a great decade. It was.
I was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s. So
see, the 80s, that's the me decade. That's when the me decade started. Everything is about me. Me. Even commercials changed in the 80s. It all became about me, money, me.
So what was the 90s?
The 90s,
there was a bunch of wannabes.
90s was the flossing decade. Everybody wanted to floss. Everybody putting on and pretending to be something they're not. Bling became popular. The bling started in really the late 90s. Before, what's his name? Before Lil Wayne created the word bling. Yeah. That was still the bling decade. It just wasn't called bling. It was called flossing because you were flossing back then.
Yeah, I would call it
it was the crack decade too. So that's what it was too.
I would call it the fake decade because people was buying fake clothes. Fake clothes was very popular back then.
Yeah.
The knockoff game was very popular. You can't get too many knockoffs now like you could back then. Yeah,
but see that was the time when everybody wanted to show or look like they were something that they weren't.
It wasn't, exactly. And you could get away with it in the 90s.
Rich. It was hood rich.
Right.
That was big in the 90s, but the 80s was me. Everything is about me. What I want, bump you, me. That was it. That was the 80s. Yeah. The 70s was more about community. It was a very community, peace, love, not war generation of people in the 70s. There was still racism, don't get me wrong. There was still sexism. Women still weren't respected. We get all that. I'm not saying it was utopia, but it was a great decade to grow up in. It really was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Thanksgiving that I couldn't get rid of a couple family members, and
what happened?
It took a long time for them to go.
You mean they wouldn't leave that day? They stayed days, or what? What you mean?
We talking about days. I'm talking about like, we talking about it took damn near to Tuesday.
What?
Yeah.
Here.
Took damn near to Tuesday for them to leave out, and I was just sitting there. I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to people. I'm like, don't they got somewhere to go? So then people be calling like, oh man, what y'all got to eat? Well, such and such still here. So we should be about out of food. You know what I mean? Food should be damn near gone. They like, they still there? Yeah, they still there.
So Tuesday, Lord.
Tuesday. They even went on Friday, went home, got some clothes, and came back.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what? There was one time when we had some people who wouldn't leave.
Only.
Oh my goodness, I remember now. It was well, they're no longer here. They're no longer with us. So may they both rest in peace. But it was some distant relatives. It was her and her husband. And they came to our house for the first and only time. And they were supposed to stay like 2 days and ended up staying 5 or 6. And Sheila and I were like, dang, when are they leaving? I just now remember that.
That's what you be sitting there thinking. You be like, hold up, man. Turkey salad is going. Everything goes Thanksgiving. You're still here.
And it was over a holiday. And it might have been Thanksgiving, but I know it was over a holiday. And we were like, what are they going on, Mom?
I had this conversation with this girl, and she was telling me that she hosted Thanksgiving, and one of her family members come on Thanksgiving and let her know that she ain't got nowhere to stay. So she ended up staying, till income tax time, till about March from Thanksgiving. I was like, damn. She was like, she just hit me with that. She ain't had nowhere to stay. And she ended up staying tomorrow. I said, dang. March? Like, damn.
Well, only thing I can say is thank God I've never been in that situation that I have had to do that. And I'm just going to say that. Because that had to be.
If I get the ball rolling like I want to, no, let me say it the right way. When I get the ball rolling like I want to, I will have a Thanksgiving week where the family do stay. I will have one of those. When I get the ball rolling.
That would be fun. I've always wanted to, let me tell you what I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to rent, I guess you would call it like an Airbnb now.
Yeah.
Just rent a big old house and invite all of us first cousins to go, in our families to go and spend like a weekend at the beach or something. I want to do it at the beach. Okay. I've always wanted us to do that. And it's just, we never do it on either side of the family. We just don't. But it's different than a reunion. It's just going to the beach. I just always wanted to do that. I love the beach and I love my cousins, and I just thought it would be, a nice way to do it. And I wish I could do it and pay for it all. They don't have to spend a dime.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I could just drop it down. Bam.
I want it to be
taken care of.
I mean, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I got a vision that I wanted the ball to roll so good that one of those cruise ships tell us that they want us on a ship and have our show there. And we invite our whole family, and we have both families there blended, and we actually have a big old show on a cruise ship, and we do like a good 5 days there with just good family time and vibes.
That'd be good.
Right.
I can see us doing that with the Side Jawn.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Side Jawn week. Forget Side Jawn Saturday. We need to do the whole week.
The Side Jawn week.
Week with the Side Jawn. That would be cool, Dennis. But you'd have to get me on the ship first, because I ain't going on no ship.
Oh Lord.
Now, if the ship stay docked at the shore, I'll be there all 5 days.
I tell you to stay docked.
You stay on the port, I'm good.
I think they got 2 nurses on there. I had you go see the nurse as soon as we get there. She give you those pills, you'll be all right.
Dennis, the pills wear off. No. When I'm at the beach and I look out into the ocean, and I see that dot of the ship way out there, no, I ain't going out there. No. In that big old ocean that I'm looking at, no.
And I'm gonna keep it real with you. It be times when you go out there on the ship at night, it's pitch black out there. It's pitch black out there, and you don't see nothing. And people be out there, and I call them crazy people because they be out there just, laid back on the beach chair, looking up, and I'm like, this is not something to be looking up at. It is too, you don't know what could jump out at you at this time.
I can't do that, Dennis.
I've done it.
I can't do it.
I've done it because you got to get that 24-hour pizza after you leave the club. Something about that 24/7 pizza on those cruise ships. I'm trying to tell you, all they do is make pizza all day. Something about that 24/7 pizza on that cruise ship. Ciao. I'm trying to tell you.
Well, listen.
Blow your mind.
I'm funny about food. Funny about food. I'm a little arrogant about food, I guess, because I've always feel like nobody's food tastes better than my own. So what I'm going to say to you is that pizza cannot be good enough to make me get my butt on a ship out in that ocean that I'm looking at. That's what I'm going to say. That pizza had to be so good, make you slap everybody. Not just your mama, everybody.
The one thing that I did enjoy, and I only got to do this a couple times because I was doing the club scene too heavy on the cruise, but when you actually do get up and get to see the sunrise, that's actually a beautiful thing, seeing the sunrise. I'm happy with that.
But Dennis, it's beautiful to see from the beach on the shore. Man, I don't need to be in the middle of the ocean to see that.
It's even better right there.
Sunrise on the beach is gorgeous. I have pictures and video of it that I keep and I watch, like on those days when I'm feeling down and I'm feeling low. I'll pull out my phone and look at the video of the that I took of the sunrise on Myrtle Beach, and I love it. I don't have to be out in that ocean.
Right there on the ocean. They got a song, what's his name? Jawn? Out Here on the Ocean.
No.
You get a chance to listen to that song by
I'm gonna try to do it one time for my sister, because I do believe that she wants to go on a cruise for her birthday.
Yeah.
And
a special birthday.
It's a special birthday. I'm not sure if she wants to do that now because of the pandemic. And if the pandemic is still going on, she's not going to want to go, I don't believe. But just in case she does, I'm trying to get myself mentally prepared. I'm just going to have to drink a whole lot of Jack Daniels and be drunk the whole time or something.
So make sure you get the liquor. Make sure you get the liquor package, which I don't really recommend. I don't recommend getting the liquor package because it's kind of like, you got to take those 15 drinks a day or you felt as though you ain't get your money's worth.
But I'm going to need the 15 drinks a day if I'm going to be out in that ocean and not just in my stateroom. Because otherwise, I'm going to be in the room because I don't want to look out the window and see that ocean. That would take. Didn't I tell you about the time that I flew over to Tampa Bay?
Yeah. You flew
okay. Now that was just a quick trip out over the bay and around.
Do you take those other boat trips like them? Like in Philadelphia, we got the Spirit of Philadelphia. Just go through the little river.
They got the Spirit of Norfolk in Norfolk, Virginia. I've never been on that one. Now, in Michigan, in Detroit, they had the Lansdowne, but it used to stay docked. Then when I was in DC, they had a ship that was on the Potomac River. It's that river where the planes fly over. I guess that's the Potomac. I don't know what river it was. But and they had a ship that used to go out in the bay part right there. But that's it.
Have you been on any of them though?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So you could.
But it's right there.
But you can still see land, so you good with you still see land and you. Wait.
because it doesn't go too far from the land.
Okay.
Ocean, when you on a cruise, from what I understand, you're way out there.
Oh, you out there. Oh, you out there.
And like I said, I've seen the ships from the shore in South Carolina. I'm looking out and you can actually see them. They're dots. And you can see that it's a ship, but it's way out here. And I'm like, and it's farther than you think. That's why it's this tiny when you're looking at it.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
you
no.
Don't even see no. I've been on. Like I said,
I can't do that.
But after the like, what is it? After the first day. As a matter of fact, when I first got on the cruise ship, I didn't even know we was moving.
I don't want to hear it.
I mean, I know they hit the bell and all that. They hit, well, not the bell. They hit the horn. They hit the horn. We had the speech. I don't like the speech either. Let me get that out the way. For people who be on cruise ships, I don't like the disrespectful speech. I feel those disrespectful. It ain't been a cruise ship I've been on, but they got to give you the whole instructions of if the cruise go down and all that, and what emergency exits you're supposed to go through.
Oh, like they do on a plane. It's the same thing.
Nah, it's a little different now on the boat.
Well, tell me about the speech now. I need to know what you talking about.
On the boat, they want to line you up and let you know exactly where you're gonna be at. You gotta. It was like 2 or 3 dudes giving out this speech. It's usually take about a half an hour that they get a speech out.
See, my sister's been on a cruise. She ain't tell me nothing about no speech. She ain't tell me nothing about this.
It go by, but I never liked it. I've been on 2 different cruise ships, and neither one of them was like, "Oh, thanks for giving us the instructions. This is a good safety tip." Like, no, I know the safety that you're trying to give out, but I think you could have said that a little bit better, player. Maybe
what
I just
kind of stuff would they tell you?
Make sure. What the guy say to me? He was like, "You need to be in your right area. Make sure that you're there." Like, hold up, we trying to figure out what our right area is. Like, then it was another ship I was on. He was like, emergency can happen at any time. So I need people to make sure that they on their P's and Q's and not listening to music and stuff like that. I'm like, man, we on a cruise ship. We gonna be on a cruise ship relaxing. Like, y'all saying all the wrong shit. I think I said somebody else could have introduced that way better. And to me, I think it was supposed to be the cruise director that was supposed to give out those instructions. But on the 2 ships I was on, it was never the cruise director that gave out those instructions. It was somebody else.
I don't care who's doing it. I don't need to be frightened before the thing even take off.
It ain't that they frightened me. It's just that they was, to me, it ain't that they frightened me, because I was, at the end of the day, the ship go down, it's either sink or swim. You know what I mean? This is what it is. Sink or swim. That just is what it is. And if it's my time to go, this is how I'm gonna go. That's how I just look at it. But at the end of the day, I'm listening to what you're saying about the safety, but you could have presented it in a better way.
Well, look, I ain't tempting fate. I'm not tempting it. See, that's my thing. I understand if it's your time to go, I got it. But I'm not running around here just taking chances all willy-nilly. That's my thing.
Right. And I was on in the last cruise ship I was on, the boat broke down. People got sick on the ship, like I told you. We had to stay an extra day. We was on the oldest ship. That was in the Royal Caribbean. Was it Royal Caribbean? Yeah, Royal Caribbean. We was on the oldest ship on the Royal Caribbean. It's called the Granger of the Seas. It's not even a ship no more. But if you look it up, they'll tell you it's called the Grandmama of the Seas. That's how old it is. And there was a lot of people that was on that ship that was that looked like they did. They told us. They said we wasn't going to no nursing home. It's cheaper to be on a cruise ship than it is to be in a nursing home. They said a cruise ship, I got a nurse here. I got all my meals here. I get to go wherever I want to, and I ain't got to worry about nothing else.
That's true. And it probably is cheaper because the nursing home is expensive as all get out.
I ain't know nursing home was that expensive.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's ridiculous.
Because I was like, these weekly cruise ships like $1,000. You told me a nursing
That's
home
why you better talk to Adam about some long-term care insurance. I'm just telling you. Man, he's right. He's right.
Insurance, but that long-term
no. Long-term care insurance. You don't have that.
No.
I can bet my next check you don't have long-term care insurance.
I got bury me so nobody else got to pay for insurance. That's what I got.
That's fine, but you need some long-term care. So if you need to go into the nursing home, you get some help with that financing, because I'm telling you that stuff is already expensive now. By the time you get my age and older, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be ridiculous. I'm already scared of it myself because I don't have any.
I'm be on a cruise ship.
That stuff is expensive. The insurance, the premium is expensive. So,
and that's not even a good nursing home. That's the crazy thing about it.
Just any nursing home. They're all expensive, from the worst of the worst to the best of the best. They're all expensive. Crazy, but I need to ask you something. I know we didn't talk about sports much today at all, but I need to talk to you about this LeBron James thing.
Okay.
I think it might be time for him to retire.
You think so?
And you know why I say so? Now, I know LeBron stans are going to be mad at me. I'm a LeBron fan, not a stan, right? But it might be time for him to retire. You know why? Twice in a week now, he's been fined.
Yeah.
Twice. He's been suspended one time, fined another time. So he was suspended a game for the incident with the Isaiah dude.
Right, Isaiah
Stewart, yeah. Now, from the Indiana game, from what I understand, he grabbed his crotch or something.
He did you remember the movie, what's the name of that damn movie? God damn. What's the name of that movie? It was about the Cleveland Indians. It had Wesley Snipes and Charlie Sheen on it.
That movie is funny as hell.
I can't remember the
Major League.
And Major League 2. You remember they had the guy from Asia. He was like, "You have no marbles." Remember that? And then finally hit the home run. He did the thing with the marbles. That's what LeBron did. LeBron did that same thing, the marbles thing.
Right. And they fined him.
Right. And the two people that he went and got kicked out the game because they were saying something about his son. And they called him a gorilla. And it was out of control.
He got rid of them. And I'm fine with that. But the fining is what I'm talking about mainly. It's like all of a sudden, this is unheard of for him. The NBA don't fine LeBron. They don't suspend LeBron. They don't eject LeBron. It's LeBron. But all of a sudden, he's just getting treated like any other player. I just think it's time for him to retire. Because he's not used to this right here. I'm not used to seeing this.
And last night, as I was watching him in overtime, for the first time I was actually watching, I was like, I never seen LeBron just come down and be gunning like this. Usually, he's one to pass the ball up. But he was coming down, he was just gunning. He was like ain't nobody else gonna make it, I'm gonna make it. Like he was on the league of his own or something. I'm like,
I tell you, he took over and he won the game for LA.
No, they lost.
No, I mean in the win.
Oh, you talking about that other game?
Indiana.
Yeah, I'm talking about last night. They lost. They lost to Sac Town. That's what they lost.
They lost to the Kings?
They lost to the Kings in double overtime. We ain't gonna talk about the Kings because I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave the Kings alone.
Well, let me just say this. I'm just not gung-ho to watch the Lakers right now. I probably won't watch them again until the All-Star break.
It's a big thing now that Ben Simmons is broke. So I know
that's his fault.
I know that's his fault. But I know what his whole thing is trying to say. He don't feel like paying for two houses, the one in California and one in Philadelphia. So
then get rid of one of them.
So he's trying to get shipped to California. I understand what you're trying to say. I got your mindset. I understand that. But the whole thing is, don't nobody want to send us. Well, maybe we don't have a GM that want to take nothing as they should. I'm gonna say that because I believe if they give us Russell Westbrook, I'll take it. I told him I'm at a point right now. If Houston give me 2 draft picks of John Wall, peace. All right, he good. He go right to Houston. That's the point I'm at now.
I actually hope that's what happens. I want John Wall in Philly with Doc Rivers.
Right.
I do. And they need a point guard.
Yeah, well, we do need another guard. But John Walker played the two too as well. But we do need.
Yeah, but I like him at the point.
Man. I do hope that's what happened. But again, Houston is another one of those teams that the things with them is just weird. I don't understand it. It's
Well,
just
you know,
weird.
I don't like Houston, period. But you're right. They're a weird team. They've always been a weird team to me.
I mean, I ain't never had nothing against Houston.
They're in Texas. That's it.
Yeah, I ain't never had nothing against them. Houston's just been Houston. They ain't never really did anything for me to be against them. It's just the fact that they just always been weird. And I don't understand it.
Well, I agree with that. But anyway, what do you think about this LeBron thing though?
Well,
Does he need to retire? Or is it just me?
I don't think he need to retire, but I think this month of November has been crazy for him too. I said this was going to be a November to remember, but I didn't think it was going to go down in basketball like this either. I was just thinking about that in football. It's going down in basketball like that too. You know, Sacramento fired their coach and they looking better. You know, Marvin Bagley's playing and they look happy. These guys actually look happy and playing well together.
Well, who's coaching right now? Who's the acting coach?
What's his name? Gentry? Alvin Gentry?
Oh, yeah. That's it. I was glad to see that he got that role. I love Alvin Gentry. I do. He's a good coach. He's a good coach.
I agree with you.
I believe he's better than Mark Jackson.
He might be. I ain't got no hate on.
Because I'm not. Mark Jackson is, to me, he's not an X and O's coach. He's not. He's just not. He's a cheerleader.
Well, he's a leader of men.
Okay.
I'll say that. He's the leader of men.
Yeah, all right. But he's not a great executor of the game. I
don't know. We'll have to find out. I want to see his next move. If he get a next move.
I will say that All the Smoke episode with Mark Jackson is probably the third best All the Smoke episode in the history of that series.
Okay.
Yeah. That his All the Smoke episode is good. It's really, really good.
I watched his Club Shay Shay episode.
I said All the Smoke. That's what I'm talking about. Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay, yeah. Yeah.
So there's three of them. It's his, was it AI?
Allen Iverson, yeah, and Allen Iverson and Al Harrington.
Yeah. And Shannon Sharp does a good job on these interviews. On these one-on-one interviews, he does a good job. I just don't want to hear him talking about LeBron no more.
Oh yeah, he did the one with T.O. too.
Yeah, I haven't watched the T.O. one yet.
Yeah,
I haven't watched that one yet. I really want him to have his brother on. He hasn't had his brother on.
I think he waiting. They probably gonna do something special with them.
Yeah, I want him to interview his brother.
Because that's how I be sometimes. And some people be like, "Well, why you ain't interview such and such yet?" I'm kind of waiting. I want to put it in this situation. You know, you kind of got a plan for it to look a little bit different than your average interview.
Well, the reason why I want him to interview his brother, what's his brother's name? Sharp. Sterling. Is because Shannon always talks about what a great player he is and how he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And the way he loves and respects his brother, I have always admired that. From day one, he has always shouted out his brother. Every chance he gets, never forgets. And so I just would love to see him actually interview him and see how that would go.
That'd be a good one.
So anyway, Mr. Dennis. I have one last sports question for you.
Uh-oh.
Do you remember a while back? And there was a whole bunch of former NFL players who were actually on either the NFL Network or ESPN. And all of a sudden they weren't there anymore because a female employee accused them of sexual harassment. And
oh yeah, I remember.
All that.
I don't remember which. That's a good. What company was that? I think it was ESPN.
It might have been ESPN.
Because Donovan McNabb got off of there. Chris Carter.
Right, it was Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Wasn't Sterling Sharp one of them?
I don't think it
Wasn't
was
it Donovan McNabb and Sterling Sharp?
I thought it was Chris Carter.
No, Chris Carter's was separate.
His was separate? He wasn't with that?
Chris Carter was not mixed up with ESPN with the rest of them. His was separate.
Maybe it was Sterling Sharp.
But it was wasn't Warren Sapp on there? Was Warren Sapp?
No, Warren Sapp got in trouble for something different with NFL Network. He got some prostitutes out in Arizona. Arizona had just passed the law. They had just passed the law on being getting prostitutes.
Yeah. Well, I still miss him on TV. He was great on TV.
Well, he got a podcast out.
Yeah, I know. Everybody got one.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see his podcast. It takes too much work to try to find and follow podcasts. It's easier if they just appear on TV. You see, for me, it's just easier. If you got a show on TV, it's easier. But
that's why I think these podcast stations should be a little bit different. It should be like TV stations to where as though, I know people want theirs on demand and stuff like that, but if you're looking to look up somebody, it should be much easier than you like. Well, don't the Chocolate Writer got a podcast? And you type in Chocolate Writer and you can't find it. You know what I mean? Or you type in Dennis Holmes and you can't find it. It should be much easier to find than that.
Now I agree with that, but I definitely don't want it to be like TV when you have a schedule and there's a guide and you pull the guide up. I don't want to be, I'd rather have the on demand.
Yeah, that's what I said.
But I do agree with the search quality. The SEO needs to be upgraded on the podcast apps. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Search engine operator.
Yeah. It's called something else for an app. It's not called that. That's called that for websites versus something else, but I can't remember what the term is, but you got the idea. You got the idea right.
But I have to say now, do you have any last words for the public? Because Ohio State plays Michigan today. And I know you're not rooting for old Big Blue. So
let me tell you, the day you ever hear me rooting for Big Blue, you might as well just call them and get the padded cell ready. Because I will never. Let's be clear, as we say. Let's be clear. I will not ever root for the University of Michigan. I could have family members playing on the team. I'm not rooting for them. Sorry. I'm just not going to do it. If my son played for them, I would root for my son. I would not be rooting for that team. Just can't do it. Can't do it. But anyway, my last words this Saturday after Thanksgiving is be thankful for everything you've got, no matter how small it is. Do not take those things for granted because everything is fleeting and can be gone in a blink of an eye. And that is real. Don't take people for granted. Those in your corner that you know are in your corner, bless them. Let them know you love them because in the twinkling of an eye, they could be gone and you will not be able to talk to them or see them or enjoy them anymore. So you want to give people their flowers while they're here. Let them know, Dennis, you my dude, love you, man. Uh, my sister, I have two sisters, my sister Sheila and Eva. Love y'all. Love my son, my nieces and nephews. Um, I just love my family. They mean everything to me. Um, I guess the last thing, like I always say, be kind to one another. Kindness matters. It really, really matters to people. Just the other day, I was I was working, and at work they always send out these emails when it's somebody's birthday to the whole office. Happy birthday to so and so, right?
Okay.
And for certain coworkers, I will forward that birthday wish to them and add my own, right?
Right.
And so I did it to one of my coworkers that I had never done it to before. And she called me and she said that was just so nice. It really made my day because she was going through something. What I didn't know is that her birthday is on the same day as her mother's birthday, and she lost her mother 2 years ago. And so now her birthday is a little difficult for her. And just because I did that, that made a difference. It gave her a little lift on her birthday. So I felt good about that. But she, she let me know that it meant something to her. There are thousands and thousands of stories like that out there, Dennis. We can bring joy to people without doing major things. It doesn't have to be major things that cost a whole lot of money. You can do something as simple as saying happy birthday to them. And that can make their day. So it doesn't take a whole lot to be kind to people, folks. Just be kind to people.
That's it. Just something as simple as a conversation to change people's lives,
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
God loves you, and so do I.
Exactly. For my last words is enjoy that turkey salad today. Make sure y'all have a good time. This is Jawn. God bless. Great day.